now the fourth and final bass is going to be this Vintage Culture and Beltran remix of Bossy. Now this one's actually sounds pretty similar to that last one. We have a bit of like a bend. So let's check out my envelope. I added like a bend at this initial note to give it that bend effect. Let me take off the kickstart. No, actually this is the one that is similar to that last sound I just showed you. So you can see very similar. I just made some adjustments off of that one. So I've got this voicing at mono, envelope 1, envelope 2 shaped like this. PWM, we've got the warp at 80% and the amount of modulation going to be at 10%. 180 on that phase, randomness at 0, octave at -2. We've got the saw wave and this phase. I think I adjusted this phase a tiny bit. This is at 69, randomness at 0. So let's play this. Let's go in the effects. Plays octave A, oscillator A. And then we're going to add on the low cut in the effects section. So that's 4 different basses with this Brazilian tech house style. Now let's just say we want to make one by ourselves, and I'll show you what I would do if I was starting from scratch. So now if we're going to do this from scratch, I'd set my voice into mono. This envelope 1, I'd shape it a bit like this, and I'm going to give it a release. Going to put my octave to -2, set my randomness to 0. This sound I'm going to make is not going to be a wide one. And let's go ahead and copy this envelope 1 to envelope 2. And all I'm doing is I'm hitting hitting option and holding and copying it over. So it's going to copy the shape over. And let's adjust this a bit. And let's add on a nice filter. I like using the low 24 filter or the MG low 24. Shift and option to get this to go unipolar. And I want to use a square wave. Now I can go into the analog basic shapes, put on a square wave. Oops. And let's add on some PWM. So let's do Alt Warp. They moved all these. And I can add a bit of modulation there. Now I can do menu up here. I can do insert copy oscillator. Yeah, render oscillator 8. Actually, there's now what it is you just right click copy with mods, and I'll select this and paste it, and it should paste it over. There we go. Raise this up 1 octave and turn on the filter for B. And I'm going to play around with this phase, and you can hear how this changes. And play around with this level. And then I'll go into my effects, do some EQing. Let's go ahead and cut off all that low end. And maybe I'll lower this, change this key. So let's play this on my keyboard. And this is just like me coming up with one randomly, like based upon all those other versions, and I can even take this off. Actually, what I could do is now there's 3 oscillators, so I could just create one on oscillator C and set that randomness to 0. And I feel like play around with the phase actually helps. See, I like that sound a lot. And now you could also do like, go into this sync. And this is going to soften that sync up a bit. So you can see these edges here, it softens that sync up so that it's not like super harsh on the edges. Like, see how that has that super harsh bend there. And this like softens that sync effect. I believe on Serum 1 it used to be called like sync window or something like that.